Right, we're back. So, remember how I mentioned some time ago that so long as I went pretty quick in the next couple episodes, I would record the drawing time lapse for this era, while still being in information era. Yeah, I missed the last couple of opportunities to record for multiple reasons. But yeah, I recorded the drawing time lapse this morning, so. So yeah, for once, that's just how it is. Okay, I don't know why this is coming up on the production one, but smelter, design studio, yeah. And then I need to set up the CAD studio, which is going to be a bit rougher because I have to remember where that stuff is. Okay, so there's a CGI animation studio down here, so I need the animation studio, which is right there. And it was sheer dumb luck that I managed to see that almost immediately. So yeah, for once in the recording, at this moment, I know exactly how everything looks like when it comes to the thumbnails as anyone watching this. As much as anyone is watching that's watching this. So someone put a command bunker there. Oh. Yeah. Okay. The programming language is probably the most valuable thing here. And it certainly seems to be the case. Yeah, these numbers are all pretty bad. Okay, wood-fired dynamo. And now effectively I'm looking for all the buildings that have better than 2-to-1 ratio. I think that might be it. Oh boy. Yep. I should get back there at some point and get some better setup going. Ah! Ah! I could build a shark studies there. Great. Well. It's big game hunter and a modern infantry. Okay, electric railroad. It would just be best to head here since I'll get so much more out of these. Tiles, thanks to the fact that they have resources set here. It's just more valuable. Tempting, but I think it's better to build the quarry. Even if not by much. Okay, that is a modern earthworks building, so there's not that good of a reason to build it. Traction and workshop is quite good, but nothing compares to the assembly plant. The assembly plant is always a rather ridiculous thing. Although it does seem that nothing else can quite compete with it either. Okay, traction engine workshop. Then the modern earthworks. Nothing else can outproduce the sheer effectiveness of either of those two. Is there anything I want to talk about? I probably should take stop to actually rebuild that. Fine. Okay, let's see here. Animation studio. Place with the geothermal factory. I don't get as much food or commerce out of the tile, but yeah, geothermal energy. Honestly, I have to say that I do like how the atomic...
The only function of weather forecasting is to make astrology look respectable.
Well, that's a nice amount of food and production and science from already present buildings, which probably are the best tax because that means I don't need to build anything. Yeah, the drawing actually came out rather well, I think. sure the wall is a bit plain, but I think the combination of aspects and the idea that this is a sort of supercomputer, old style supercomputer, as in from a very long time ago, space race level technology, makes it a bit easier. Plus, I made 100% sure that the colors are what they're supposed to be. Unlike with the well, what was I thinking of? Oh yeah, right there. Unlike with the social democracy drawing time lapse, which is a sort of an odd one. It was intentionally made to be fast and quick so that I can put it in as a closer, because I must say I think it looks nice that the way it is. But I did not get the actual grayscale color values of the colors. I didn't bother doing that. I just did a best approximation and... Did I do that? I need to look at it again, because I may have genuinely grayscaled it. I don't remember how I did it. If the color on the map is grayscale, then it is grayscaled via video editing. If it wasn't, then I definitely just did my best attempt at making the colors grayscale without actually looking at the colors grayscales. Okay, fine. We can do an international port. Oh, Aslan is ready. Oh, time to get you going. Don't need to build the engineering school. Okay, good. Alright, let's get that factory out of the way. Even if it's not necessarily the most efficient of buildings, it can be quite powerful. Yeah, when it comes to an indoors one, the atomic one does feel a lot better than the medieval one. Perhaps it's just the smaller scale of it, really. Yeah, the city has 13 population and it's not using all of its tiles. That much is obvious. Oh, time to build a fishing boat. I don't need to upgrade to modern armor. Not yet. Let's get the oxide ore. Okay, let's get the hydrocarbon out of there. Okay, the city has quite a few buildings I need to go through. Look at the list down here. 40 turns. Okay. Anything that can do a better pace than 1 to 1? The foundry. Okay, it's that much is obvious. Especially since the forge hasn't been built yet. Well, the factory isn't quite that good. Not yet. The crane, however, is. Okay, I'm just gonna do the parts plant. Fine. Of course, I'm still not 100% certain. There's one thing that I'm still uncertain on. I mean, I did it earlier today, but whether or not to put the reflection above the screen glow or below it. Do know that this is a hugely important thing that affects the entire no, it's not. It's just me getting a little uncertain which one actually looks better. Because I have to say, either does look quite nice. But I want to do the one that specifically looks best, and I keep looking at it and wondering. Yeah, farm supplies are ridiculously good, so it's now reasonable to keep a farm by every city, so that I can actually take advantage of it. Bank. Okay, production. Well, expensive production to be precise. There's the animation studio. I'm actually getting pretty good at noticing where it is now. I don't know why. It's a quick turnaround. Either way. But yeah, based on that, I definitely will have to figure out setting that up. Doing the drawing time lapse is the information era thumbnail. Well, I'm still recording.
Climate is what we expect, weather is what we get.
Correct. Moving on. Oh yeah, we're just about finished. I specifically said urban culture as the last text, so I'm only 20 minutes in. If I keep this up at this relative pace, yeah. But yeah, if I keep this pace up, then I mean, I was already pretty aware that this was going to be one of the last of those, but I was not expecting it to be this early, I should say. Okay, what else does the city need? Hovenweep. Oh! You're one of the new cities. Okay. The industrial farm is going to be hugely important, but you need power. And the wood-fired dynamo is the fastest way to get that power. For that, the assembly plant should be insanely helpful, and then the industrial farms. Because you're not adjacent to a river, so I can't actually take advantage of the river buildings. I mean, I get two, you know, with this river here being one of the only two, I get most of the cities not being next to a river, but there was one right here. You could have put a city, like, maybe around here, not there, but in one of these two tiles instead. It would have been just fine. Alright, that tile is perfect for farming. Sure, fine. Upgrade. It's not that necessary, but it might help against the barbs that can pop up. It does not mean they will pop up. It's just that they can. I could have sworn that resin tile that popped up just there for a second. I'm pretty sure I built a tree. Oh no, they're replacing. Okay, I'm gonna have to go through the list of workers and figure out which ones are where because I have had enough of the fort spam. It has been enough of that. Okay, that's can be skipped. Yeah. You're a bit more troublesome to deal with. I shouldn't build the mathematics department because, well, I'm going to be unlocking ArcCiv, which gets me free mathematics departments. Okay, let's get the bronze and the platinum out of the way. So those tend to be pretty quick. Yeah, much further is honestly pretty questionable. That's efficiency. Guess I can get these. This. Okay, why haven't I built the modern crane yet? Or the foundry, of all things. Heck, the city already has that built, see? I guess it's all the new building, the new improvements spiking the productive power of the city. Which is very nice. To get such a power boost. Okay, that should be good for the moment. Another city where I need to figure out what goes in what order. Okay, this. It's not the best order, but it's a fairly good order. Yeah, it's kind of like, of course there's going to be a fairly eclectic mix of buildings to build. That levy is going to produce so much production if what it says is accurate. That's genuinely an impressive amount of power implied right there. Oh, let's get that too. It's gonna take a while for it to get through all the buildings, but it is well worth it. Okay, right. Let me take the turn in order to track down the which workers are automated here, because it's obvious that someone... Because I know for a fact that I put a tree farm here. Okay. Right. I think I don't do modern era workers. I think it's industrial. No, that's domestic city. Okay, I know of this one, this one, this one, and this one for sure. These two I'm not too certain about. I'm gonna put one there. Okay. You're doing the thing I told you to. I haven't looked here in a while. Aha! You're the automated guy. The heck were you doing here? Just start heading over there and genuinely help. I mean, sure, I do appreciate how the forts are spreading my influence in order to get rid of barb spawn spots, but overriding things that I've already built is not something I want you to do. So it is at this point that I have to intervene. To not do so is just plain negligent. Okay, and let me get that. There's the shop. The shopping district is just a bit oddly pictured. Doesn't quite match what I expect, so. No lava rock gatherer, it's not necessary. The assembly plant produces a very good amount of production. So of course I'll grab it. Same with the manufacturing plant. I think the modern earthworks outpaces everything else by this point. The farm supply is ridiculously good. what makes it especially ridiculous is that it's as good as the assembly plant here. Though that has to do with the lack of dynamos. Let's get the wood fire dynamo out of the way. The assembly plant will outpace anything else, guaranteed, once power is established within the city. Right? It's a grain tile, of course I'll farm it. It'll be extra valuable that way. Design studio, fiber plants, and there's the animation studio. There it is. Okay, that is higher up than I expected. The fun bit is I know that I did this computer network right here, you need it in order to build Silicon Valley. I don't remember which city I built it in. So it's possible that there's a city that's prepared to build it, and I haven't realized. I may need to go through the list of cities real quickly. Just to check. I know it's going to be probably going to be one of the first 10. Since they genuinely have the production capacity to do this sort of thing. Okay, what does Silicon Valley look like? That. And it's going to be at the end of the list no matter what. Okay, so I did not do the preparation I was thinking of. At least not yet. There. Fine, farm the tile. I built the animation studio? Okay. Looks like it. I don't see it. There, yep, okay. Right, I remember looking at that tile before and deciding it was not worth it. Apparently I just did so again. Yay. That's a tile that needs to be mined though. Okay, let's get you the new production building. This is there. So regardless, the CAG studio is oh so very worth it. Plus 28 production on 8 turns. Yeah. Just takes a lot of setup because I need the animation studio, the CGI studio, or the yeah. And that takes some doing, doesn't it? Coffee shop. Okay. Now we get to these buildings. I can do the rest in a bit. Yeah, it's a fairly long queue, so there's no need to push it any further. If that's anywhere close to accurate, I guess it's worth it. Take that too. Okay. Yeah, like this tile. I'm pretty sure I put a mine there. At the very least, the urban culture tech won't give me any new buildings that I need to build. At least not many. Most of my cities are already just clearly outpaced by the rate of development that is happening. And I mean clearly. It is very obvious that a lot of this is going faster than my cities can keep up with. Oh yeah, right. This was Neonesia. No, yeah, Neonesia. Not Sunesia. So Oh wow, most of this is terrible. Okay. I'm not gonna touch it any more than that. The city desperately needs improvements to be set up.
The police will show these gangs no leniency, even though some are under the protection of local governments who expect the stealing would boost the slack local economy.
I go for the smoking prohibition just because it helps. Yeah, I'm not picking a meth lab. Okay, first things first, I need a judge. There we go. I mean, look, it's obvious that even my capital can't keep up with the amount of buildings. Okay, the farm supply is ludicrous. Now that I also have long-range forecasting, it's going to be even better with gene manipulation, but that's a bit further down the line. Coffee shop, lumber mill, antique shop. Sadly, that's going to have to stay there for the moment. Yeah, I'm not happy about these numbers. Okay, no. Yeah, that's long enough. Well, that is not far enough for me to be able to... I mean, that's too permafrosty. The tundra. For me to plant a farm there. I was kind of hoping to be able to do that, but I guess not. Maybe if I clear that, I'll be able to build a farm there. I know it's unlikely to be the case. I need to place this in order to get some obsidian. And there's some resin over there that's absolutely being exploited but doesn't have any improvements on it, so... Okay, put a sea mill there. And then I'm done for the time being with that portion. Okay, remove the swamp. This will take some time. Hopefully I can build a farm in irrigated taiga. I don't remember if that's genuinely the case. But I may as well try. Because it would be very helpful. There's the animation studio. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Still quite funny that that's the sound for the judge. It's exploited, but it's not technically controlled by any city. Dang it. Same with that. Now I can start working the mountains, I guess. Right, which city has the Supreme Court again? This one. Okay, fine, the tile's still in use. Alright. Make my way over there then. So that sometimes appears and sometimes it doesn't. Replaces karaoke club, VIP club, comedy club, jazz club? Wow. That gambling ban hits pretty hard. There's also no reason to do an alcohol prohibition. However, the smoking prohibition doesn't actually do all that much. Negative? It costs a bit of money, but all it does is extremely helpful. It increases health, which actually isn't that helpful, but it does lower pollution, so by 15 a turn. Yeah, there wasn't anything yeah, I must say, there wasn't anything that I ended up talking about today, and stuff slowed down immediately after I said, oh, if we go fast, we can actually get quite a bit done. Yeah. Okay. Let's get you finally, the CAD studio. CGI animation studio. Once you finally have that done... Oh. You never built the seawall, did you? This might actually get me more production than the CAD studio. Put all the science buildings that you're missing, which should occupy you until the next set of... Yeah. Alright, CGI animation, there you are. Oh hey, that means I can get mammoths. There's no reason not to build a wildlife sanctuary there. And this production should really help bring Athens up in production. Did I just put it on sentry? Well, if it did, it's probably in the spot where I can see it. It comes up. Don't worry, we'll hit information era at the end of this video. I'm sure that the last 3 turns cannot take longer than 10 minutes. Seriously, this is going slowly. A lot slower than I was anticipating. Okay, shoot, something is building Silicon Valley. I just haven't seen it. I should have checked first. But where? Oh, there it is. Why building Silicon Valley here, of all places? Oh well. Okay, so it is being built. It is being built. Good, that means I can stop worrying about it until I inevitably forget that it is being built again. Don't worry, it'll happen. Upgrade the tile to a railroad. Can't believe I built that computer network. For no benefit whatsoever. Well, I mean there's an immediate benefit, but in 80 or so turns it's gonna be pointless that I did do that. Which may be 2 episodes, but in the grand scheme of things isn't that long. Okay, so the 3D animation studio has to be around here somewhere. There you are. Okay, 3D animation studio is right there. That was a fast turn. If only those happened more often. In the age of information, ignorance is a choice. Welcome to contemporary times. So, I've got a list of potential free technologies to choose from. Planetary exploration gets me 8 extra science, as well as the possibility to start exploring further into interplanetary space. Aquaculture. I mean, there's the aqua farm, which is a one of those composite buildings that unifies everything else. I should not grab one of these science techs. That's science religion techs. Stealth gets me a bit of culture and some new units, which really aren't helpful here. Forensics, I don't need espionage anymore. If you notice over here, the slider is gone and has been gone since I conquered Sue. There's no one else here, so no reason to invest into it. Okay, gene manipulation comes up earlier than I anticipated. It does obsolete the horse breeder, though, which means no more... maybe. Chariot manufacturing, chariot things. I don't know. Fiber optics. Doesn't give me any direct benefits. Perhaps later. Fuel cells, also no real direct benefits. Superconductors get me more science and well, high-tech stuff, and then chaos theory gets me arcsiv. Aquaculture is okay. Gene manipulation would actually be pretty helpful because sure, all those 3 buildings are the later science buildings, but they all provide 8 science. And I'm sure that I have at least 100 of those science buildings in total. And farm supplies are in like half my cities, and there's not much else that provides production here. Okay. ArcSiv is just too good. Free mathematics department in every city. Yes, please. Plus traffic engineering.
The advance of genetic engineering makes it quite conceivable that we will begin to design our own evolutionary progress.
That was very quiet. The gene farming lab gives me some more science. I can remove biological contamination. Nanotech, obsolete industry. I think working towards ArcSiv is a good idea, though. Text only takes 10 turns, despite being an entirely new era with new standards. Right, I'll get the turn finished up and then call it. And you should see the new image now. Well, not now, but in a few minutes whenever I finish this setup process. I really should get those buildings. The super duper extra special cheap stuff that provides huge amounts of food should probably be more of a priority than current actions imply. Okay, that is a prime timber tile. Those are top notch and hard to beat. So. Okay. So the new information error icon up there. And we've got quite the tech tree to get through. And it's probably going to take even longer to get through than Atomic. Unless I start... I don't really want to start automating cities. Because then there's the option of the possibility that they start building the stuff that can cause barbs to spawn near cities. I want to avoid barbarians spawning as much as possible. Anyway, my estimate for where we are, I'd say we're somewhere in the realms of like this line. These two lines. Like, we're definitely around here-ish by now. At least on this portion, but I think we're also somewhere back here. Well, maybe. Maybe it's just this far. But I don't think we really have bioinformatics or molecular medicine. Space tourism is also kind of blah. Barely there. There's also rapid prototyping. Then again, it implies wearable computers, which I'm fairly certain we're not at that point yet. Or at least not to a major extent. On the other hand, we do have augmented reality. Very tech demo-y. But, eh. The fact of the matter is, this is a tech tree that has been initially designed over a decade ago, so it's based upon a whole heap of predictions of how near future technology would pan out, and yeah. What can I say? If we were right 100 years ago, we'd be zooming to our Mars colonies while still speaking to each other on payphones. Anyway, I think I've gone on long enough. I'll see you again next time. Until then, bye.